Hi, I'm Justin Jensen, and welcome to my channel. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and may fall again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. Teddy Roosevelt. All right. Sorry. I'm so dumb sometimes. Okay. Yes, got the kids. Came here on two wheels. I see you. Do you know who we're streaming through right now? Who are we streaming through? We are getting Extradition. Okay. Love you all. So, let me see here. Bear with me. Check your text, please. Okay. Okay. Check your group text. Okay. So the proceeding in Monroe County Commonwealth versus Kohberger will begin at 3:30 p.m. There will be no live stream video or audio from the courtroom, but they're going to give us a play-by-play. So, what do we do? Let's look at Twitter. And let's see what's going on. How about that? Latest. I will take a look for Brian Eaton now entering the courtroom. For Brian Kohberger, no cameras or live tweets, but update here at News Nation when done. Hearing scheduled at 3:30. Perfect. So, what I'm going to do, let me clear out some of these windows here. And God, guys, did y'all see that photo? Did y'all see the live that or not the live, what's it called? The YouTube short that I did earlier with Brian. That picture, yes, that picture. It was like, holy Lord, it gave me the creeps. If anyone wants to call in, I'll turn my phone on. We'll do that. Let me drop that up here. And we're going to see what else we got going on. Let's see what News Nation. This is literally up to the second. Stroudsburg, PA is only 46 miles away from Scranton. 909, thank you for calling.
Hi, Justin.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, I don't know if you can hear me good. It's Michelle. I'm calling from Southern California.
Hey.
I love your channel. You're just the best. You're the kindest.
Aw, thank you.
Person. Yes, you are.
Thank you.
So I have a question, and I guess we probably don't have a lot of references with other killers here or mass or whatever because you don't necessarily know how they were after. But so my question is, his students, and one of them just did an interview, and his students are saying that right after the murder, he seemed worse. He seemed really distracted. This morning I was watching one, and he said that there was no side comment on the students' papers, that everyone got hundreds. You could literally turn anything in and you get 100. Where before, he used the high standard, he'd call it, for grading. Said he was super disheveled, didn't make eye contact. So I'm wondering, like, from a psychological standpoint, if this was not his first killing, that's a typical behavior for somebody like him. He seems to me, like the way they're describing him, like he didn't feel happy, he didn't feel relieved. There was that sense of he got that fantasy out of the way. He seemed, you know what I mean? What I'm saying?
Right. I think he may. I think he thought it would be. Maybe he didn't think it would be this high profile. You know what I mean? But yeah. I do believe that he has been not sleeping a lot, and that's because obviously, it's became extraordinarily high profile, nationwide, worldwide at this point. And so he's just making sure he's, taking the right steps, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like I wonder how Ted Bundy was after, you know what I mean? Or how BTK.
Well, there wasn't social media back then.
Right.
There wasn't even internet.
Yeah, exactly. So I just wonder, I don't want to say he has remorse because I don't think he knows how to feel like that.
I think here's the parents coming in. Here's the parents coming in, guys.
Okay. Want me to go?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. So anyway, I just wondered if anybody has any experience, anybody in the chat with psychology, anybody might, have any thoughts on that. I really wonder why he was that way. Steven said he's a weirdo. They all thought he was a weirdo. But after, he just seemed so much worse. He was all disheveled. He said he used to come in like perfectly, everything was perfectly put together on him. Because grief And then after, he was completely like disheveled. So I just wondered
Okay.
if it's just because he was scared he was going to get caught. It just doesn't seem like behaving like somebody who's so cocky and so like, I did this, you'll never figure it out. You know what I mean? It's more like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. I just wonder if anybody has any thoughts on that.
I don't know. I don't think it's definite. I don't think it's definitely remorse. It's really hard to tell what it is, to be quite honest with you. Hold on, I'm just trying to find WFLA here.
Hopefully we'll hear him speak at some point and look at an idea. You know, families will get some closure. So
Right.
I'll let you go, and thank you for everything that you do. Thanks for taking my call. I really appreciate you, Justin.
Of course. Thank you, dear. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, we'll go to YouTube and see WFLA. Not YouTube, Facebook. Shit. WFLA. Authorities said, okay, it's not that. Video. WFLA. Video. All. Okay, that's not what we want. YouTube, I guess. WFLA.
Charges. So this is live here on your screen. Also want to let you know as well, with the hearing coming up at 3:30 Eastern Time, Pennsylvania State Police have called a 4:30 press conference, a press conference that we do plan on carrying here on stream. So we're going to try to do this as a 2-for-1, if you will. 3:30, we'll bring you the very latest. We'll have coverage of the extradition hearing. And then at 4:30, we will take you live to Pennsylvania State Police headquarters, where we are expected to hear the very latest from investigators again in the apprehension of Idaho murder suspect Brian Kohberger. So we had the video a short time ago, and it's been, of course, on social media, the video of him arriving at the courthouse earlier today.
So just a question. So is that all we do, is stare at a door the whole time? Police will have a press conference at 4:30 press conference. Will not be live, not legal in Pennsylvania to video or cameras in court. Is it the state law or is it at the judge's discretion? Or we can look at you. Oh my God. I was trying to see if there's anyone else alive. Did everyone, we'll play that in just a second, but did everyone see this today? This bothers me. It really does. Oops.
Hey, how you doing? How you feeling?
Come on. Oh, Jesus, goodness. I was trying to, probably state law, I'm guessing, not sure. Let's see what Brian Anton is saying. Going inside courtroom now. That was 26 minutes ago. Cameras and live tweeting not allowed. They won't even let you tweet. I guess they're afraid of. It was raining. Twitter. I was trying to see if there was like someone live there at the courthouse.
How you feeling?
How you feeling, Brian? Why did you do it?
Are you ready to go to Idaho?
Why did you do it?
Kohberger.
Pennsylvania, Brian.
Just give me 1 second. I was trying to, instead of staring at a door, I was trying to find somebody that was actually there and live. You know,
How you
like,
feeling?
How you feeling, Brian? Why did you do
Are you
it?
ready to go to Idaho?
Why did you do it?
Laura Engel with Fox News.
okay, I already saw that. Let me go to Facebook and see. Usually Facebook's better than finding something live.
Why did you do it?
How you feeling?
How you feeling, Brian? Why did you do it?
If anyone knows anybody live there, you want to email me as, what the hell is this? Not me. I knew he was big. I always thought the picture of him getting out of the car in the body cam footage, they said it wasn't the car in the video, but I have suspicions of it.
Why did you do it?
How you feeling?
How you feeling, Brian? Why did you do
Are
it?
you ready to go to Idaho?
Why did you do it?
I'm not looking at the chat for 1 second, guys. Ian.
Why did you do it?
How you feeling?
How you feeling, Brian? Why did you do
Are you
it?
ready to go to Idaho?
Why did you do it? You last time in Pennsylvania, Brian.
Well, I think it'll be pretty quick. I think the judge will.
Protocol where they fly him back here, I would imagine. And if you walk us through just your experience
Here we go.
firsthand on anything similar, bringing somebody back in to face charges
Give me a second.
from another state where they were arrested.
Well, the Uniform Criminal Extradition Act doesn't require any specific mode of transportation. And even when somebody is not in a public profile at all, even when it's a lower level felony, the authorities are all very, very tight-lipped about how the person will be transported. And
Law and crime
like
are.
this, it's going to be done with the utmost secrecy. And I'm not sure that they've decided themselves. Sometimes they'll get assistance from the federal government, even when it's not a federal case, to go through, Con Air, as most of us have heard about. But it may be that they just, slip out at 3 a.m. in an unmarked car and drive in a little procession across the snowy plains of the U.S. We just don't know. But I think we're all going to be in the dark, until Mr. Kohberger arrives there in Moscow. It's really hard to say, but it's going to be a logistical issue for sure for the authorities to make sure that this happens and it goes smoothly without a
We've got his, I guess it's his mom and maybe his sister going in.
Spectacle. So we'll see. They might leave us guessing a little bit. They do by law have 30 days to make it happen. So it might be that they wait for the public interest to fade a little bit. And then Saturday night at 11 p.m. a week from now, it's just announced and it's done. Time will tell.
Steve, great insight. I want to use your legal expertise while we are waiting. We are now about 8 minutes away from that hearing in a Pennsylvania courtroom. We heard, obviously, in that original news conference after the arrest about the probable cause affidavit in Idaho. Can you lend some credence to what that probably will reveal once it is made public?
Well, yes, I think everybody is kind of waiting on that with bated breath. There's so much we don't know what the alleged motive is and exactly what it is that ties the suspect in with the offense beyond the DNA that's been mentioned. Did Kohberger know the 4 victims? had he had prior dealings with them. That they can't keep that hush-hush forever, because the subject of probable cause will be established in a public manner, and so we're going to hear about that. But it may not. We may not learn more until Mr. Kohberger arrives back in Moscow.
All right, Steve Graham. Steve, thank you so much for taking some time, sharing some insight on the legal process that they expect to unfold here in a matter of minutes through the next couple of days until the prime suspect in the quadruple murders, Brian Kohberger, is officially extradited back to the state of Idaho. When he is, he will be in the Latah County Jail. Let's go back live to John Webb.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sean. And this is the jail. We'll give you a live look right now of what we're looking like. Not too many cars out here right now. And I'm looking at the jail roster. Right now in Latah County, they only have 22 people booked, and it's just for paraphernalia, possession of controlled substance, a couple of lewd conduct with children, but nothing to the magnitude of a quadruple homicide suspect. He being charged. And we're going to toss it back to Sean real quick.
All right, John, thank you. Obviously imminent now. Brian Kohberger just walked into the courtroom, that door we were showing you there. We can tell we have our crews behind the scenes.
Here he is. Watch.
Here is that video. This is brand new. In fact, just seconds ago, the prime suspect in the Idaho quadruple murders. This is Brian Kohberger here walking to court, where by all indications from his public defender there in Pennsylvania, he is expected to waive extradition, which would speed up the process, fast track his delivery back to the state of Idaho to face charges. He says he's eager to exonerate himself from these crimes and says he is innocent. He hasn't made that an official plea, but we do expect him to waive extradition, which then, as you heard our criminal defense attorney expert Steve Graham a minute ago say, basically then it falls into the jurisdiction of the officials from the state of Idaho. They have a plan to transport the prime suspect Kohberger back to the state of Idaho. But what is that plan? He says we are not going to hear about it. They'll keep that in secrecy for a number of reasons. To get him back here safely, to have security tight. They want to make sure he gets from Pennsylvania to Idaho without any speed bumps along the way, to get him into a courtroom to face these charges firsthand. He is facing 4 charges of first-degree murder. You saw him walk by shackled in a red jumpsuit there a minute ago. He arrived about 2 hours ago to that courthouse building. Obviously, it was held in a holding area, and then just walking into the courtroom, where we are now about 4 minutes away. The chief of Moscow Police Department, James Fry, has been in an intense spotlight since these murders happened. He sat down with NBC News this weekend. Here's the chief in his own words.
Felt very good. It's been a long process, and there's been a lot of pieces that we've had to put together to get to there. But now we're in the new phase. We know who it is, and it's time to find out everything we can about him.
Are there any other suspects, or are you 100% certain this is your guy?
I am certain this is our guy. No doubts. We've gathered evidence. We'll continue to gather evidence. And you take the evidence and you follow the evidence, and the evidence will tell you what you need to know. You just got to be patient to get the answers. These murders have shaken our community, and no arrest will ever bring back these young students.
It sounded like you were a little emotional during that press conference.
Yeah.
Was this personal for you?
Sure. Raised my family here. Went to the university, got 2 degrees at the University of Idaho. I think it's personal for a lot of us. We care about our community. We care about the University of Idaho. We love, we're vandals. And when you're in a community like this and someone's hurt, we all hurt. And we got a job to do, and we're going to continue through that job. But it is emotional. And, people think that's a weakness. It's not. It just means we care. It weighs on all of us. And, that's what makes, I think, a smaller department sometimes even more special, because we're a family, and our community is part of our family. We're human, right? So we have emotions. We have all the same thought processes as anybody else. But then we have a job to do. And then we have to continue that, because we owe it to those 4 lost lives, those families, our community, our state, and now our nation, our world. Actually, I was getting emails from people in the UK and Australia and Africa. Wow. That's how far this has reached. And sometimes we because we're working these cases, don't understand how far-reaching and what an effect it's had. But I'm very proud of this agency, very proud of what we've done and what we've accomplished here. And now we got one more phase to go, and then the victory will be won. We don't know what piece is going to give us that breaking point that we go, oh, wow, that ties in very well. So we're looking for everything, and we're still looking. That's why we ask, send us tips on this individual. If you know him, if you've had some contact with him, we want to get to, now it's time for us to get to know him.
Chief James Fry, in his own words, a roller coaster ride for not just the community, but for law enforcement who worked around the clock, multiple agencies to find that suspect, which they ultimately did, arresting him in Monroe County, Pennsylvania at the end of last week. Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home. We are learning a short time ago from our Bradley Warren, who is in the courtroom right now, that Kohberger's family is also physically in the courtroom for the extradition. Here is new video from about 5 minutes ago. Kohberger was kept in a holding area. This is him being led into the courtroom for this extradition hearing. He's expected to waive that extradition. Idaho officials then are responsible for transport of the prime suspect in the University of Idaho area quadruple homicides from November 13th back to the state of Idaho to face charges. The connections, we have heard more over the weekend into the early week that there was DNA, Kohberger's DNA, inside of that crime scene. Authorities have confirmed that to NBC News. One of the ties, obviously, he had a white Elantra. They were looking for that one, was captured on video near that crime scene at the time of the crimes. Here's a live picture for you back in Pennsylvania of the courtroom. Extradition hearing scheduled for 12:30. We are about 10 seconds away from that time. Whether they start on time, we don't know. We're going to stay with this live picture right now. Obviously, the families of the 4 victims, the Moscow community, highly concerned about what happens here, hoping to fast track him back to Idaho. Kaylee Gonsalves' dad telling NBC News over the weekend that he will be in that courtroom every time Kohberger is in that courtroom. He said he wants him to see his face. He wants him to know he is not going to get away with this.
Absolutely. I agree. Guys, please hit the thumbs up, please.
The victims, Kaylee Gonsalves' father did say they are seeing a few connections, but he would not elaborate on what those were or are. So a live picture for you now from the Pennsylvania courtroom. Kohberger could be extradited back to Idaho if he waives extradition by tonight, could be tomorrow. We don't know. Authorities saying very, very tight-lipped for security reasons about their transport plan, how it will be transported, what mode of transport. So that will be up in the air.
They're not going to say when they transport him.
Fast track back to Idaho, obviously,
because
a lot of information still to come out.
Of safety reasons.
The chief's still saying that they want to hear from you. If you came across Kohberger, if you know Kohberger, they want as much information as you will provide to them. Reach out.
Thank you, Tara,
back to Moscow as we
for gifting memberships. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sean. And we want to talk about the steps moving forward. We spoke with the criminal defense lawyer from Moscow and Coeur d'Alene yesterday, Jim Seeby, about what
he's a cutie patootie
in the coming weeks and coming months. Really, he expects this case to last well over a year. But right now, the prosecuting attorney has 2 options. Number one, once he gets back into the state of Idaho, he could go in front of the judge as well as the prosecuting attorney and schedule a preliminary hearing. At that point, they'd present all evidence. The judge would determine if it would move forward to a district judge and actually want to prosecute this case. Now, the second option that the prosecuting attorney, Bill Thompson, has would be to impanel a grand jury. Now, this happens behind closed doors. There's no judge, there's no defendant, there's no defense prosecution. It's just the prosecuting attorney and 12 members of that grand jury. At that point, the jury would decide if it would move forward to a trial. Then they would go into an arraignment, then a pre-trial, which would set up the dates and times for the trial to take place, and of course the trial. But that defense attorney, Jim Seeby, telling us that this could take well over a year, Sean.
All right, John Webb, live for us in Moscow. Right now, we're at the mercy of the proceedings to start there. No indication, obviously. They're not relaying to the media exactly what is happening there. We can tell you this. This is what we know. Brian Kohberger, about 2.5 hours ago, was taken from the Monroe County Jail to the courthouse here. Then about roughly 7.5 to 8 minutes ago, We actually saw him being brought down a hallway in shackles, a red prison garb, into the courtroom, where he is expected to waive extradition. His family did release a statement over the weekend. It led with their concern and their compassion for the victims' families. That was at the beginning of their statement. They also said they do want to continue to push for the presumption of innocence until this case can be tried. A statement from Kohberger's family. We can tell you that NBC News did confirm that the suspect's father flew to Washington State, then drove back with Brian Kohberger from Pullman to Pennsylvania, where his family has a home, and they spent the holidays. We did also learn that within a 1 hour span, a 60-minute time span, they were pulled over twice in the state of Indiana within 60 minutes, one for speeding, one for following too closely the vehicle in front of them. No other information about those traffic stops at this time.
Thank you so much, Megan. Very kind of you.
Right now, Steve Gonsalves obviously giving an interview to NBC News, emotional but steadfast in his determination to face the prime suspect face-to-face in court when he arrives back here in Idaho. Let's bring in Corey Howard, continuing our team coverage. Corey.
Yeah, Sean, Steve Gonsalves is Kaylee's dad there. A 15-minute interview, as you mentioned, chose his words very carefully, trying to avoid saying something that a defense attorney could misinterpret, misconstrue, something that might potentially hurt the case against Brian Kohberger. But he did say that starting Friday, last Friday, when this arrest was made, that life got a little more hopeful.
We've kind of felt like the first chapter was rough, but the second chapter, we have all the hopes that everything's going to be as clean as possible, and we'll get everything laid out, and the family's coming together.
He talked a little bit about Friday's celebration of life that was held in Coeur d'Alene for Kaylee and Maddie, saying it was wonderful but stressful and emotional event, as you can obviously understand there. He said that Kaylee's mother, her great fear was that the murderer may actually have been in attendance without anyone knowing at that celebration of life. The arrest of Brian Kohberger that morning, last Friday, a very big relief for family and friends and the community as a whole there. Meantime, there's been a lot of talk about Kohberger's interest in criminal justice, specifically in the minds of serial killers. That's what some of his research had been about. Steve Gonsalves says that if he's convicted and if his academic pursuit played a role in the murders, all of it goes to show that there are always mistakes made.
Yeah, I'm sure egotistical somebody who did this crime might think that they're that smart and that clever, but it's going to be proven to that person how many mistakes were made, and that's what we're trying to focus on. Is, you know, can we find these mistakes as a team, as a community? Can we come together and can we figure out all these things that, because we don't want to believe anyone can commit a perfect crime, so here's our chance to prove that.
Yeah, and of course, his interest in the criminal justice proceedings there. And once Kohberger gets back to Idaho and we get a look at that affidavit and look at the probable cause documents to see exactly what evidence police have against Brian Kohberger. I understand, Sean, I'll send it back to you that the hearing just wrapped up.
It did. Corey, thank you. Let's take you back to that live camera of the hallway. Here's what we're learning right now. We're basically at the mercy of the court. They did not want to allow cameras or any live streaming inside of that court. We're going to stay on this shot because here's what we can tell you.
Hearing's done.
Extradition hearing is done. Prime suspect Brian Kohberger waived his extradition as expected. An officer saying that he signed 3 papers and he should be walking right in front of these cameras here soon as they lead him out of that courtroom. So the extradition has been waived. Next step, Idaho legal officials, law enforcement will then transport him back to Idaho, where he'll make another appearance in an Idaho court, Latah County courtroom. A probable cause affidavit will be
He just had to sign papers.
Should also reveal exact information, further ties.
He should be coming through these doors soon.
How they track down Kohberger as their prime suspect. But again, the hearing, which we did not see or hear, we didn't know we were going to be able to or not. We did not. But it is over. He did waive extradition, signed some papers. As you heard our criminal defense attorney, Steve Graham, say before this extradition hearing that the attorney for Kohberger, the public defender there in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, would speak to the judge and to the courtroom and address the courtroom for most of this hearing, which was quick as expected. And then the
judge
judge
would
would
ask-
Thank you, vet
the
girl.
suspect,
Amen.
Brian Kohberger, to directly answer brief questions, which we expected did happen. So the extradition has been waived. The hearing is done. Our Bradley Warren is in the courtroom, so he can walk you through exactly what happened when we reestablished contact. They have asked everybody to turn their phones off while being in the courtroom, so we cannot text him or message him at all. There is no live streaming in this hearing as well, but you can see people walking around there. This is a live camera inside of the Pennsylvania courthouse, so we can tell you. The next step is Brian Christopher Kohberger, a WSU graduate student, 28 years old, the prime suspect in the killings of the 4 University of Idaho students on November 13th, early morning hours of November 13th, will be arriving in Idaho. When? We do not know at this time. It could be as early as tonight, could take a few days. That will not be outlined. Obviously, secrecy and security is priority one for law enforcement. As now, the next step in this case is to transport Brian Kohberger back to the state of Idaho. You see an officer here talking to some people in the hallway and people mulling around there. No indication on exactly when Kohberger will be brought back. But again, that extradition hearing happened. Extradition was waived. He will return to Idaho. You heard Steve Graham, our criminal defense attorney, said by law it has to be within 30 days. It will be well before that from what we're hearing from sources. But as far as mode of transport and the route, we don't know that. This is a video from a short time ago when they brought him into the courtroom where he did waive his extradition. Obviously, a number of security personnel around. He didn't say anything as he walked by the cameras, stoic in expression and shackled, as you would expect. Security's high. This is back to a live picture now for you. As you can see, there are 2 officers now, so we expect him to walk through here as they're checking their watch, and they are looking at the hallway and talking to people that are in that immediate area. Security very high for this. National attention on this story, national attention on the prime suspect and the legal proceedings in Pennsylvania, which will then, in turn, lead to the legal proceedings in the state of Idaho. Brian Kohberger will be heading back to Idaho here imminently to face charges, at least, at minimum, 4 charges of first-degree murder in the deaths of Madison, Xana, Ethan, and Kaylee, who were killed in the early morning hours, sometime after 1:45 p.m. a.m. when they arrived back to the residence on King Road. 2 of the victims killed on the 3rd floor of that residence. 2 of the victims killed on the 2nd floor of that residence. At least one of the victims, confirmed by the coroner's office, had defensive wounds, knew they were being attacked and tried to fight back. Authorities saying there is DNA in the residence of Kings Row where these crimes happened that directly ties Brian Kohberger to at least being in that residence at some point. It was found using genealogy information, looking at DNA from a relative of Kohberger. As we await the suspect to walk through the live camera here in the Pennsylvania courthouse, let's bring our John Webb back in Moscow, Idaho. John.
All the way in Pennsylvania, and we're going to get the mic fixed here in just a second.
We can hear you now, John. Go ahead.
Are we on? Okay, sorry, Sean. What I was saying is that a big relief for a lot of students here on the University of Idaho campus. We were talking to a lot of students on campus the weeks leading into this investigation, and while police were trying to find the suspect, a lot of people were scared. A lot of people went home during Thanksgiving break, never returned. I talked to some students who didn't plan on coming back this spring semester, but a sigh of relief for a lot of students, a lot of people who live in the Moscow community as well. He'll be on his way to the state of Idaho now that he has waived his extradition. We were talking to that criminal defense lawyer, Jim Seabee, in Coeur d'Alene, and he is saying that he expects them to fly him back to the state of Idaho. So hopefully we could be seeing Kohberger within state lines as soon as tonight. Back to you, Sean.
All right, John Webb live for us in Moscow. Obviously, the community of Moscow devastated and fearful, really, for the last month. We can hear some radio relay conversation here. And then you see authorities there, and there is a live picture for you of the suspect, Brian Kohberger, leaving the courtroom where he did waive his extradition, face forward, shackled, stoic and walking back out of the Pennsylvania courthouse, where he'll be taken back to the Monroe County, the jail, I would at least for a short time, I believe, unless they plan to directly get him into the transport mode to get him back to the state of Idaho. But you just saw live Brian Kohberger being led back out of that Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania courtroom. He did sign 3 papers. The judge asking him directly, does he waive extradition? He has to answer that. Is how the formalities of the legal system in Pennsylvania work. Here's a different angle of Kohberger leaving seconds ago that Pennsylvania courtroom, where he is now cleared the way to fast track, bringing him back, where he said he's eager to face these charges and get exonerated from these crimes. Says he did not do them. At least that's the indication.
Me too, Manda.
From his public defender. So the suspects, you saw him leave the courtroom there in Pennsylvania seconds ago, will now be transported back to the state of Idaho. Will make appearance in Latah County courtroom. Authorities will go through the legal procedure, standard procedure for the state of Idaho. We can tell you, interesting, that the documents, the probable cause affidavit, is sealed by Idaho state law until the suspect physically can appear in the Latah County courtroom. Once Kohberger is physically in that Latah County courtroom, then that probable cause affidavit will be unsealed. We're expected to learn new information about how they zeroed in on Kohberger as the prime suspect in these crimes and ultimately arrested him. We can tell you that Pennsylvania State Police are expected to hold a news conference roughly 45 minutes from now. We will break back in on Nonstop Local for all of you in Montana and Tri-Cities and here in the Inland Northwest, carry that live for you. They did surveil his parents' Pennsylvania house for 3 to 4 days before moving in early morning hours and arresting Brian Kohberger. This has been breaking news. I'm Sean House.
Okay, so we got some more video coming, or not video, but here is a couple things when he was coming in today. This is the monster. This is the monster. Looking... So, I mean, look at his height. He's not a little guy. I've been waking up every night since my cat makes any noises. It scared me that bad. Oh, Moody, I'm sorry. Listen, you are taken care of. Don't lose sleep over this asshat. He is never, ever, most likely going to be out from a bar from his face ever again. He has armed guards behind him, this monster. Literally. And then...
Even though the probable...
Oh, crap. And then this was also him coming in. And then there was a thing. This was, and he was out walking in. I mean, there's a lot of guards. A lot, for sure. I will turn my phone back on, and I want to show you guys also. Here it is. Maybe. I'm just waiting for Brian Enton to tweet or something. Make sure y'all can see this. It says Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, Robert Evanchik, Commissioner of Pennsylvania State Police, Major Christopher Paris, Area 3 Commander of State Police, Monroe County District Attorney E. David Christine Jr. will hold news conferences today to discuss the apprehension of Brian C. Kohberger. Brian was taken into custody early Friday by members of Troop N and the Special Emergency Response Team at home in Chestnut Hill Township in Monroe County in connection to the homicides of 4 University of Idaho students on November 13th. 520, thank you for calling.
Hello, Justin. How are you?
Good, how are you? Let me
Good.
check.
I just wanted to share something with you that I heard. You know that survey that he did?
Yes.
Okay. So when he does that, the college can promise confidentiality, but not anonymity, meaning that all of his work and who he spoke with and all of that information will be part of this case.
Yes.
So they will be opening up the information that he received from these people and who he received it from.
That is true. Brian Ensign just tweeted one of 3 tweets. Brian Kohberger waived his extradition hearing. He had to sign a waiver in court. The judge explained to Brian the charges against him in Idaho and that he was voluntarily allowing the authorities to transfer him to Idaho. Just waiting for tweet number 2 to come through. 1,600 likes in literally 4 minutes. Wow. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Wow. Yeah, so there's that. And my daughter brought up a good point. She studies psychology, and she was saying that in his mind, he has justified what he's done or made an excuse in his own mind that what he did was for good reason or had cause
Right.
to do this, which I found really interesting. So it wasn't like he knew.
Oh, guys, hold on 1 second. 1 second. We got a video of him coming out. Okay, go ahead. I apologize.
So she was saying, like, in his mind, he's already excused his behavior to himself and probably has the state of mind that not only that he is smarter than everybody else, but that what he did, he had cause to do.
Yes, I would. I mean, in his sick, twisted mind, yeah, he's definitely, he's trying to justify it or make a rationale in his head, and only somebody of a perverse mind can do that, right?
Right.
So.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. Hey, Justin, you look even prettier on the big screen TV.
Thank you. I'm a mess right now.
I just wanted to let you know that. Huh?
I said I'm a mess right now, but thank you. Very sweet.
All right, sweetheart.
Thank
I will
you.
talk to you again sometime.
Appreciate you for calling. Thank you.
No problem. Bye.
Bye. That's very kind. Still waiting for his second tweet. Just keep refreshing it. 225, thank you for calling. Hello. Goodbye. Let's see if there's any. Everyone right now. Look at this. You got to laugh at some of this. Everyone right now for part 2 and 3. Refresh. Oh my God. Yeah, this was him coming out. I don't know. It kind of froze on me. Extradition hearings are generating quick. I don't know why people are so surprised. What? Yeah, it is. But everyone that realizing 1 of 3 is the date. Oh. Everyone that realize that 1-3 is the date and not part 2-3 and 3-3 coming. Hold on. Okay. Wait a second. Yeah. I'm so dumb. Everyone right now for part 2 of 3 and 3 of 3. Refresh. And then everyone after realizing 1 of 3 is the date and not part 2 of 3 and 3 of 3 coming. Oh God. Oh God. Oh. All right. Come on, Brian. I thought it was. I thought it was 1 of 3. Why put the date down? It's funny. I don't care who you are. These damn meat or whatever gifts on here, people find the right one. I'm telling you. Let's see if he tweeted anything else. Hey, liar. It is 2 of 3 and 3 of 3. Kohberger told the judge he is not on any medication that would impact him of his decision making. The judge said he had to be sent to Idaho within 10 days. 3 of 3. Kohberger. Sorry, yes. Kohberger came into the court and made eye contact with his family sitting in the front row. He nodded at them. His mom cried and his sister comforted the mom. A deputy brought her tissues. That's very sweet. He did. The thing is, guys, seriously, think about that. Think about not only your mother seeing you in jail, right? But knowing as a parent, you can't imagine your child killing another human being. That's the child you raised. That's the one you nurtured. That's the one that you that cried for you, and wanted you when they were sick and everything, and that they turn into this monster, right? We will not be able to read that affidavit until he is in Idaho. Justin, where can I send you a pic of Kaylee at WUS party or bar looks like BK is behind her. It looks like no one is showing this pic. You can send it to me. Right here. We are looking and seeing if anything is, if Brian is going to go live or anything. Those gifts just got me. I'm sorry. A second ago.
It's to
Okay. 770, thank you for calling.
Hi, Justin. I'm a first-time caller.
Oh, thank you for calling. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, I got to tell you, every time I watch you, my husband walks in, he's like, "Oh, that's your boyfriend." I said, "No, he's my soul brother." I said, I just love Justin to death. He's so kind. He's the kindest person on YouTube. I just love you to death.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
You're welcome. But anyway, my name's Camille. I'm from Georgia.
Thank you, Camille.
And hey, and I've got to say, when he's walking out, especially like he knows he's on camera, and he doesn't cover his face or anything. Like you notice, like other people, like they hide their faces and everything. He comes out just so proud. I wonder if he knew he was going to be caught this soon. Do you think?
No, he didn't think he was going to be caught. He did not. Never thought he was going to be caught. I think he, in his mind, actually thought through his education and through his research of that he never thought he was going to get caught, that he committed the perfect crime.
Wow. But he looks like so proud now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So proud. And
Well,
I don't see...
It's one of the 7 deadly sins, right? Pride.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why these people are saying he might not have done it at the lab. I mean, I see one.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we have to say that, especially because, I mean, technically, you know, it is America, and it's, you know, you're innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. However, oh, hold on one second.
So I think they genuinely believe it's him, and I think they probably have good reason to believe that. But
1 second, sorry. And no, you're good. But
yeah, so I understand that innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, and especially because of the defense, and you know, that's where you really got to.
I just wanted to get that out there and tell you how much I appreciate you, and you're
thank
such a
you.
kind person. Please don't ever change.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Believe it or not, I'm just an old country boy from West Virginia. I don't maybe look a little country or anything, but I was raised country, so that's just who I am. So
Well,
I'm not
Georgia,
changing.
and so yeah, you are just a super guy.
Thank you. You're very kind. I do appreciate you.
You have a great day.
You too, hon. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for calling. Bye-bye. 256. Thank you for calling.
Hey, Justin.
Hi.
I just wanted to jump in here a second and ask if you have went over the interview that the attorney there in Pennsylvania did with NBC.
I have not. When did this attorney do it?
On the 1st. I cannot find it. Grizzly was going over it earlier.
Okay.
I was going to email it to you, and I cannot find it. But there's a lot of information there.
Okay. I've got her email. I can maybe email it and see if she can send it to me.
Okay.
She's a
I
sweetheart.
think you'll really enjoy going over it. There are, like I said, and I believe they're going to drive him back.
No, they'll fly him back. Yeah. Anything over a certain amount of hours, I think they have to fly you.
We thought that was for Letitia back, remember? Did you do the gang and such case?
Not really. No. Mm-mm.
No.
A little bit, but not. Not much. No.
Okay, well, I'm gonna jump off here. I got a big little one, so.
Oh, okay, honey. Well, thank you so much for calling. If you find it, email it to me, please.
I definitely will.
All right, my dear. Thank you for calling.
Yes, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. So for those of you who just joined, Kohberger told the judge he was not on any medications, and that that would impact him making any important decisions. The judge said he has to be sent to Idaho within 10 days. I suspect it will be today, but they can't tell you because the nature of the security, just the same as they did with Lori Vallow, even though the media caught on. Kohberger came into court and made eye contact with his family. And his mom and sister was sitting in the front row. He nodded at them. His mom cried, and his sister comforted the mother. The deputy brought the mother a tissue. It's very kind. Okay. 615, thank you for calling.
Hello, this is Natalie Suzal from Tennessee.
Hey, Natalie, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I was calling with some thoughts that I've been having. I've been making notes the last few days when I've been watching you.
Sure.
And I was wondering, we're obviously dealing with an individual that has a narcissistic personality disorder.
Definitely.
From some of the, VAU type people, and just from the things that we're learning from him. And I'm wondering if he feels like he may be the ultimate authority in crime and criminology, and if he's testing his intellectual acumen, you know what I mean, his abilities. And I'm wondering if this is some type of a long game for him, where he maybe builds into this plan with this murder, these murders, if he builds into the plan that he may well be caught, and sort of has all these little things that he's planning to do, and as we go forward and we have court proceedings and things like this, I would not be surprised at all if he sort of jacked around with people, and he says he's going to do one thing and then he does something else, and things like that. Do you have any response or thoughts about that?
I mean, if he is, we don't really know his mindset. We haven't really had psychologists, psychiatrists. We haven't. He's never spoken to anybody. We haven't even heard his voice. But anyone that generally, has the behavior patterns and stuff that he has. It wouldn't surprise me if he thinks we're all, peasants, and that he's the top of the food chain. So.
Yeah, I see. I can definitely see that he thinks, from what we've heard repeatedly, he always has to be the smartest person in the room.
Yes.
And you know what? He might be a lot of times. Okay, maybe he is.
Right.
But now he's out of his depth.
Yeah.
Now he's out of his depth.
Yeah.
He's going to be in court. He's going to have seasoned attorneys. He's going to have, seasoned judges. He's going to have, the entire force of the FBI and the Moscow, Idaho Police Department, and the Idaho, people and everything. I mean, I think that he's way out of his depth. But I wonder if he's got some things up his sleeve. That's what I'll leave you with that. that I think that he may be sitting on some things up his sleeve that he thinks he's going to do.
Sure.
Very much like Ted Bundy,
Sure.
who at the last minute was like, I'm going to do my own attorney. And he thought he was the smartest guy in the whole world. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of unusual things, much like the gentleman that was the guy that drove his car into the parade. His name is failing me right now, but he drove his car into the Christmas parade.
Oh,
and
I
then,
know.
You know, that was just pardon my French, but a complete shit show.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if we had some of that, but not on the same level.
Right.
That guy was.
He was a cluster.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 cluster. You know what?
Yeah.
I think that this might be
Daryl
more of a
Brooks.
Bundy version of that. Yeah.
Right.
I think that this might be more of a Bundy version of that, but where he is constantly challenging things, and he's like, I know my rights, and he's gonna, that type of thing. But well, thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Much
dear.
love to you.
Appreciate you. Thank you for calling.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So this is allegedly his mom and his sister. It doesn't appear like his father came, from what I'm understanding. 520, thank you for calling.
Hey, Justin, it's me again. I'm sorry, honey.
You're fine. How are you doing?
I just wanted to also add to what I had said earlier. I just found out that this court case could take a while because there are 4 public defenders in that county. One is the coroner, it's a conflict of interest. 1 works for the coroner, and 2 don't have the credentials to try a death penalty case.
Yeah. It's you got to have it's death penalty cost the state a lot more. You got to have at least one attorney on the team that's that's done a death penalty, which I was looking at executions last night. Guess how many executions happened last year?
How many?
In 2022? 3.
Wow.
In the whole United States. The year before that, there was 11. So there's only like 2,400 people on death row right now in the United States. So it's few and far between.
Hopefully.
Yeah. 2 from Idaho.
Idaho and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they get put on that list. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you and let you know that I heard that just now and thought that was kind of interesting as well. So this could be something that takes a while to come to a conclusion.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
this is going to be a long process. I think we're at over 3 years for Lori Vallow, and it's going to take some time. This is not an overnight thing. So buckle up. That's all it's going to be.
Yeah, that's I know. Well, peanut butter and jelly is vegan.
That's right. Whatever. Enjoy. Enjoy.
All right, pretty boy. I'll
Thank
talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. We got. I was going to finish reading this. And it says, okay. The press conference, we are about 17 minutes away from the press conference. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull that up, actually. Media contact. HTT. Oh, here. I can do it like this. Let's see if there's a feed already on it. PA Cast. Okay. Here we go. We are going to be waiting for the this should be taking place in about 15 minutes from now. Bread doesn't have eggs. Yeah, bread doesn't have eggs. They are getting their speeches ready. I know this type of thing doesn't happen all the time, but it scares me to send my son to college this spring. Oh my God, all things, God bless you. I just don't know. I just don't know how parents do it. And if, I don't know, I need a leash. Can I like, stay in a dorm too? I want to make sure they're okay, but I guess you got to let them grow up a little bit, but still. You're right, down south chick. If we live in fear 100% of the time, we don't even live. Right, you can do college from home. Yeah, I know, but kids have got to do kid things too. They got to have a social life. They got to have friends. They got to make wrong choices, and they got to make good choices as well. And that's how we grow and evolve. Yes, PE presser. Yes, yeah. You worry as a parent nonstop. 608, thank you for calling.
Hi, Justin.
Hello.
Hi, this is Susie from Wisconsin.
Hey, Susie.
I just have a couple of things I wanted to say. He has evidently a legal team already. And the reason I say that is because some of these lawyer firms will come together just to get their name out there and go pro bono.
Oh, of course.
Because WFLA was reporting that there was an investigative team from his legal team that went to the murder house on King Street. And there were like 4 investigators that left, but there were 2 or 3 people that stayed behind to recreate the crime scene. That was on WFLA.
Right.
So he must have his legal team already. And it must be a pro bono thing where they just come together and just to get their name out there.
Possibly. Sorry. Emily Sugarloaf on Twitter retweeted Crime with Bobby. A few details from court. He kept looking at his mom and sisters. At some point, he mouthed out something to them, unclear. He said he made the decision voluntarily, nothing more than yes, and I understand. Ann Taylor will represent him in Idaho. Ann Taylor, Chief Public Defender of...
She is a public defender?
Chief Public Defender of... how do you pronounce it? Kootenai. County, Idaho will be representing Brian Kohberger in Idaho.
Okay. But they had this, WFLA said they had this team, his legal team. That's why I was like, did a bunch come together? You know, because sometimes they will.
Yeah.
Just to get their name out there, because this can be pretty high profile.
Oh, for sure. Sure. Absolutely. Moscow does allow cameras as long as the judge agrees. The judge has to agree. This is the photo that I was talking about earlier. This photo literally creeps me to no end.
I don't want to keep you, Justin. Just wanted to call in.
Okay,
And,
honey.
hey, just gotta tell you, I love you and the team, the Boots on the Ground team.
Thank you.
You and Molly are amazing together,
Aw,
and
thank you.
Mallory and Becky and Olivia. I love you all.
Oh, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your
And
support.
you guys and Dolly are the only ones I watch. I don't watch anybody else.
Oh, you're very kind. Thank you, honey. I appreciate you. God bless you. Thank you for
All right.
calling. All right.
Yeah, Happy New Year, dear.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Yep, bye-bye.
I'm going to turn the phone line off for just 1 second. This is the photo. Check my mail. Look how dark. Look at his eyes. Now imagine, and that's not even a mean look. That was just a glance. A glance, right? Yay, mommy of 5. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you, my love. Now imagine him ticked off. And there's another photo of him looking like, but this garter's right here. And notice his eyes are fine. But look at the white around him and just the darkness. I mean, these guys have a real look. Zen, thank you, love. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for becoming a member. Let's go back to let me check my email. Oh, Gen P is still blocked. Idaho quadruple homicide. Could this be the voice of Brian Kohberger? All right. Public defender says Idaho suspect is calm, believes he will be exonerated. This is not him. Thank you so much for that. Oh, you're talking about this person in the background. My Zoomer isn't working. I can't see. But regardless, it's a beautiful photo. Is this the knife he used? Yes. Tony, yes, that is, or not Tony, sorry. Allegedly. All right. Thank you, Isabel, for your Cash App. Brian Kohberger post. seen this before looking at Brian's police.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good?
You're good at
That sounds
counting.
good. Cool. Okay.
Great job. You can count to 10.
Find all our offices' contact information if you don't know already on our website, dsd.pa.gov. Click on board meeting. One of those phone calls.
We're about 7-8 minutes out.
Introduce everybody at the press conference. And Miles Snyder, who's our communications director. Thank you.
Yes, Mommy, if I'll give it to you. So, who knows? They're probably going to end up saying exactly the thing that I just read you. He looked at his mommy. He agreed. He said, yeah. And that's it. Bad girl, thank you. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Everyone, welcome. All the new members. Yes, Blue Sheep. Thank you so much. I got that. I do want to go over that. Send me a link of your Hey, Jen P, send me a link of your channel, and that way I can unblock you really quickly, and that way I don't have to go through and search because I'm not seeing you. So I just emailed you back there. Should be coming soon. Edith, that email you sent, I don't, it just, it's not a voice clip, is it? Holy shit. Look whose hands that is. That is the monster's hands. You can tell he's an obsessive hand washer. What'd I tell you guys? Told ya. He's still on life support, all things? Bless his heart. Okay.
I live in a college town, and I've worked.
What kind of candy am I eating? High chews. High chews. They are digging. Please say a prayer for Marissa's mom. They found blood clot on her lungs. They're starting an IV and blood thinners. Dad said they are going to keep her for observation. Should be starting within the next minute. A 1,000 viewers want a piece of your candy. I wish I could share. Guys, please hit the thumbs up button. Let me know if it echoes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Adam Reed. I'm the Director of the Communications Office with the Pennsylvania State Police. Thank you for joining us here. The order of speakers is going to be our Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner, Colonel Robert Ivanchik, Major Christopher Paris, he's our Area 3 Commander, and First Assistant District Attorney, Monroe County, Mike Mancuso. After the speakers have finished, we will then take a handful of questions. Colonel Ivanchik.
Good afternoon. I'm Colonel Robert Ivanchik, Commissioner of the Pennsylvania State Police. While I monitored the investigation into the horrific murders of the University of Idaho students, I did not imagine the investigation would lead to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. My heart goes out to the families of the victims, their friends, the community of Moscow, and the University of Idaho. No words can heal the pain associated with the loss of a child. Their young lives were ended far too soon. In law enforcement, we understand the best thing we can do for victims and their families is to follow every lead, collect every piece of evidence, and bring those responsible to justice. I am proud of the members of the Pennsylvania State Police who were able to help in this investigation. The cooperative relationship between our local, state, and federal partners stands the test of time. The officers, troopers, and federal agents work together tirelessly, putting in long, difficult hours. Communication and cooperation are imperative to success and to ensure the integrity of the case remains maintained. The culmination of that cooperation ultimately led to take the suspect into custody and afford the families some sense of peace they deserve. I want to thank the Moscow Police Department, the Idaho State Police, and our partners in the Federal Bureau of Investigation for their support, assistance, and coordination. I also want to recognize the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. And finally, I need to acknowledge the members of the Pennsylvania State Police, specifically members of Troop N, our Bureau of Criminal Investigation, and our Bureau of Emergency and Special Operations, who assisted in safely taking the suspect into custody in the early morning hours of December 30th. As previously indicated by Chief James Fry of the Moscow Police Department, specific details regarding this investigation cannot be released until the suspect is extradited to Idaho and presented with the probable cause affidavit. At this time, I will turn the microphone over to Major Christopher Paris, commander of Area 3, who was involved in the coordinated efforts to take the suspect into custody.
Thank you, Colonel. Area 3 comprises troops F, P, N, and R, and is made up of 1,000 approximately of the women and men, civilian and enlisted, in the northeastern part of Pennsylvania. I'd like to introduce to my left Captain Norm Kramer, who's the commander of Troop N Hazleton, which is comprised of Carbon, Monroe, Columbia, and parts of Luzerne counties. I would like to reiterate, as the Colonel said, that Idaho law prohibits any release of information contained within the affidavits. So we're going to do our best today to talk about what phase we are currently in the investigation, and it has entered a new phase with the waiver for extradition. And the continuing primary goal is the seeking of justice through successful prosecution and conviction, bearing the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So with that in mind, we're trying to balance essentially two things: the public's desire for information against the need to maintain the integrity of the investigation and protect the suspects, accused at this point, due process. So I'll now attempt to give you an operational picture with the best information I can release at the time. So this begins when the Pennsylvania State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigation troopers were contacted by the FBI about assisting with surveillance of the accused in this case. I'd like to take the opportunity to specifically thank several individuals. Special Agent in Charge Jackie McGuire and Assistant Special Agent in Charge Dave Carter from the Philadelphia Field Division, as well as Supervisory Special Agent Bill Vigorito of the Scranton RA. We're very lucky in PSP to have a collaborative relationship with the Bureau, both in Pennsylvania and beyond, and their people are absolutely excellent. So as the investigation progressed, Troop N Criminal Investigation Section, commanded by Captain Kramer over my left shoulder here, began to collaborate with authorities in Idaho. Specifically, I'd like to acknowledge Lieutenant James Curto, who was here today, Sergeant Anthony Ferdinand, Corporal John Chulak, who is not present with us, and Troopers Leary and Knoll, who are here with us today. It was through this collaboration and the charges pending in Idaho that those troopers were able to obtain search warrants and a fugitive from justice warrant that was prepared here in Monroe County for the location in Chestnut Hill Township and the fugitive from justice warrant for Mr. Kohberger, respectively. I'd like to acknowledge the Monroe County District Attorney, David Christine, as well as First Assistant Mike Mancuso and their entire office. The support that we received was absolutely excellent. Once those warrants were obtained, the Bureau of Emergency and Special Operations, BESO, coordinates our Special Emergency Response Team, CERT. They were selected to serve those warrants, the 3 search warrants and the fugitive from justice warrant. To define what CERT is, it's a full-time tactical team maintained by PSP to deal with high-risk warrant situations, barricades, and other incidents requiring specialized tactical training or other capabilities. From their perspective, we essentially task them to go out and serve a arrest warrant for someone accused of a quadruple murder. They're activated several hundred times a year throughout the Commonwealth. We don't typically hear of their work in a forum like this because they serve the warrant, the person's taken into custody, and they go about their assignment. They are the ultimate professionals. It's a volunteer team. They're highly trained and highly motivated. Captain Norm Kramer over my left shoulder was assigned as the top comm for the CERT activation, which means he was responsible for coordinating our tactical preparations. So tactical assets were then staged in the county, in Monroe County, into the evening of Thursday, December 29th, last Thursday. And in the early hours of Friday, December 30th, those warrants were executed at the location. Mr. Kohberger was taken into custody without incident. The scene was turned over to the FBI Evidence Response Team for processing. Mr. Kohberger was then turned over to the Monroe County Prison, where he has remained in their custody since. I'd like to thank the Monroe County Sheriff and the Stroud Regional Police Department for their support as well during the extradition process. Arrangements currently are being made to deliver Kohberger back to Idaho, where he can have continued due process and face these charges. So it's with that, I will turn it over to First Assistant Mike Mancuso.
Thank you, Major. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mike Mancuso with the DA's office, the First Assistant District Attorney. I want to give my condolences to the families of the victims out in Idaho for their loss. It's my sincere hope that this marks a clear step in the right direction of effectuating justice for those folks. My office's role was relatively recent. We weren't advised of the presence of the defendant in our county until only a couple days before the apprehension of the defendant. But when we were told, we came together and worked very closely with Captain Kramer, who did an excellent job in almost like a clockwork operation. Part of my duties were to ensure that 3 separate search warrants were issued. Those affidavits attached to those search warrants are still under seal, so I can't discuss their contents with you. But one was for the person of Mr. Kohberger, collecting DNA and photographs, that sort of thing. One was for the white Elantra vehicle, which I understand has been seized and is being processed. And one was for the address, the residence itself that he was living in with his family. I was at the scene, and I have to say that Major Paris and Captain Norm Kramer did an outstanding job in coordinating the efforts, not only of the numerous Pennsylvania State Police troopers there, but officers from other jurisdictions and disciplines within those jurisdictions to make this a very smooth, highly competent professional operation. It is a quirk, apparently. It's not in the norm of the states I'm familiar with that Idaho does not release their probable cause affidavit in support of their arrest warrant until after their defendant is returned to that state. But having read those documents and the sealed affidavits of probable cause, I definitely believe that one of the main reasons the defendant chose to waive extradition and hurry his return back to Idaho was the need to know what was in those documents. So that's a significant development. Beyond that, looking at the scope of the situation and the ties this defendant has to my county, I would hold our office at the disposal of the Idaho authorities to help facilitate a complete background investigation into the defendant, both activities prior to the murders occurring within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and his activities after the murders in Pennsylvania. So we stand ready to assist with that effort on an ongoing basis. Thank you.
We can now open it up for questions.
Can you tell us what state police specifically did, or can you give us any indication as to the operations of state police when you were notified? And you talk about putting tactical in the area. How long were they there? And what's the?
We're not in a position to give you an exact time. It was at some point prior to when the surveillance was taken, as the investigation progressed to a point where search warrants could be obtained and the probable cause for those search warrants and an arrest warrant, a fugitive from justice warrant based on the arrest warrant out in Idaho were obtained. We began to take the tactical steps to plan to serve them.
Were you collecting evidence prior to his arrest?
At this point, like we said, it's very much pertinent to what's in the affidavits, which we cannot speak about.
What's it about his demeanor when the arrest actually happened?
Present sense impression, as likewise ongoing investigation, can't discuss.
Robin, 69 News, how is Kohberger being transported back to Idaho?
Those arrangements are being discussed right now, as well as the logistics. The court order says, those of you who heard it today, it's within the next 10 days. So we're currently working on that in coordination with authorities out in Idaho. Sorry. I can't comment. I don't know.
Is he being held in the Monroe County Jail until he's extradited, or is he removed to another?
No, he is lodged in the, since he was dropped off there Friday morning, he's resided in Monroe County Prison.
Still, until he's
Correct,
extradited,
yes.
he'll be there by the marshal.
officials holding him, or which group? is
At this
holding
point,
him?
that's still being coordinated between the state police and the authorities out there. We don't know.
Will the affidavit be unsealed when he arrives in Idaho?
I don't want to speak out of my lane. When I watched the press conference on Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, I was alerted to the fact that according to Idaho state law, that the affidavits have to be served to him once he's extradited back before they could be unsealed.
Did he say has anyone else been arrested?
Ongoing investigation.
Has the motive been determined?
I can't comment on that either. I apologize.
Who transports him, sir? Does Pennsylvania State Police, the Monroe County Sheriff's Department?
He's presently back. He was transported from the courthouse by Monroe County Sheriff, and the logistics of who's going to transport him out to Idaho are still being discussed. We don't know yet.
Can you confirm the time of his arrest and how much law enforcement presence there actually was?
I would say it was in the early morning hours of Friday, December 30th. Tactical assets on scene were probably in the neighborhood of 50.
Were you afraid he was going to get tipped off before you got him?
I would say overall about this entire operation, and the credit goes, this is a part that the state police played humbly. You look at Moscow Police Department, 38 sworn, 19,000 leads, the video evidence that they had to develop in order to put that out, all public source information. But when you talk about the service of a high-risk warrant for someone who's committed or alleged to have committed 4 homicides, there's nothing routine about that. And all of those tactical steps that were taken were in conjunction with the best efforts of the authorities, local, state, and federal, both in Idaho and here, to ensure that we could do it safely and to ensure that we could get him into custody and that those service of the search warrants could occur.
Sir, can we ask you a question of the first assistant district attorney? Mr. Mancuso, you described having read to a degree the contents of that affidavit of probable cause, and that you possibly speculated or theorized that he wanted to get back to read that as well, since he can't read that. Can you give us an indication, though, of the seriousness of what you did read? I know you can't talk about it, but can you share with us something?
Yeah, I can't get into the details, sir, but I can say it involved the defendant's connection to a scene of a crime consisting of 4 murdered people. So that's the significance of it.
Can you confirm that there is a connection between Brian Kohberger and any of the victims?
I can't discuss that.
How confident are you that he is guilty of these crimes?
That wouldn't be my place to say. Certainly confident enough that there was ample probable cause for the issuance of the various warrants in the case.
What was your reaction when you heard this? You've all talked about, you followed this. This happened states away. When you get that call, or you all get the call, that this person could be right here in your home area, what's your reaction?
Well, I was surprised, really, Monroe County of all places. It hits close to home. It's a normal human reaction, I would think, under the circumstances.
Do you know when he and his father left Idaho or Washington and drove to Pennsylvania, what that date was?
No, I don't know the exact date.
Approximately, we understand the middle of December, is that correct?
I think that's approximate.
And what about, we heard reports that they were stopped not once but twice on the highway. Can you elaborate?
I'll defer to his Pennsylvania public defender on that.
Do you have reason to believe that Kohberger is connected to other crimes and unsolved mysteries in the area?
I wouldn't answer that question at this time.
We start looking at some that may be unsolved where he was around.
That would be a normal thing to do.
Question for the PSP here. Said he was taken without incident. Was it safe to say that, I shouldn't say it's safe to say, but did it seem like he was expecting?
I wouldn't comment on what his present sense was. I would just comment that the professionalism of the CERT team and their tactical training definitely proved in a situation like this to do it in the most tactically sound and fastest way possible.
Was there anybody else in the house at the time?
His parents were in the house at the time.
Did they say anything to you?
Again, present sense impression. I can't comment on that ongoing investigation.
You break down the door.
Force was used. The warrants were issued for evening search warrants, which in Pennsylvania requires additional probable cause in order to serve them at the hours of darkness. I would defer to the first assistant to talk about the legal burden that you bear in order to obtain those. But from a tactical standpoint, based upon all of the briefings that we had developed and all of the intelligence we had developed, we thought that was the best time to serve it.
And what tipped off that Pennsylvania was involved with this?
We were alerted by the FBI. Troopers in the Bureau of Criminal Investigation were alerted.
Anything on like his social media pages that tipped anything?
I can't comment. I don't know.
So has Harris been cooperative in this whole process?
Can't comment. Ongoing, like I said. The state police's role here was to serve the warrants and assist with the surveillance, which we've done. We've been part of major investigations. You know, these are men and women who take an oath to protect their communities and the Commonwealth here. We're very humbled with the opportunity that we had, given a case that has really gained international attention, to play a small part in it. And our hat is off to Moscow PD again with the size and the complexity of this investigation and the work that they've done to get us here today. And this is only the beginning of the next step.
If it's determined that anyone here in Pennsylvania either helped to conceal or dispose of any evidence, then you would be a part of this case, or would it go?
I would say that we would pledge whatever support we can for ongoing investigations with the Idaho authorities here in Pennsylvania. Absolutely. We would help them in any way we could.
Were there any weapons found in the home?
I don't want to get into what was actually seized in the house pursuant to the evidentiary nature of it.
Can you give any insight into why you all decided to go in overnight to make the arrest?
Those are tactical decisions in terms of base surveillance. I don't want to give out too many tactical factors that go into that situation, but obviously surveillance was conducted and we wanted to go in at a time when we thought it would be the safest for everybody, safest for anybody else in the house, safest for Mr. Kohberger, and safest for our people.
There was an interesting question asked earlier about the care that needed to be taken to not tip the suspect off. Could you describe how long that lid had to be on things and how many people were involved in it? Like how many people knew and for how long?
So I would say, I would answer the question this way. I don't want to get into a timeline in terms of when we were notified by the FBI and when the surveillance began. Obviously, we know on Thursday night into Friday morning is when the warrants were served. I would say, as a credit to the professionals, both standing behind me and others not here, many others not here, the information was held very close. And we did not want to have any situation where Mr. Kohberger potentially would be tipped off. So as a result of that, I would say a close number of approximately 7 to 8 individuals, maybe 10 on the most within the PSP side of this operation knew about it.
And for days, can we say? Or?
I would say for a period of time. I would not feel comfortable commenting any more than that, for a period of time. And then as the tactical assets were brought in, people were briefed.
When the movement plan is finally decided, will there be an announcement? Will
not from the state police, so we would defer to Moscow and the authorities in Idaho.
when he starts leaving Pennsylvania?
Well, we have security concerns now, obviously, to move any prisoner. Anytime you move somebody from a secure prison to another place, we don't want to. There won't be an announcement from the state police in terms of those logistics, but they're being worked on right now.
Can you give us your best guess when you think he might be moved roughly? Tomorrow?
We would like to do it as soon as possible, but the court order says 10 days. We have 10 days to coordinate it.
Can you possibly be on a plane tonight? Is it possible he could be on a plane tonight? That's a possibility, right?
I can't. I would think that's probably not likely.
Private plane, or would you fly commercial?
We're looking into that right now.
Can you confirm or deny that a window was broken in order to gain access into the home?
There were multiple windows that were broken, I believe, to gain access, as well as multiple doors. I think the video of the house after the fact confirms that, and that would all be part of the tactical plan based on the floor plan of the house, et cetera, and what the CERT operators would do to serve those warrants.
Was this suspect on your radar before, and are you looking at any connections?
I wouldn't comment on that based on the ongoing nature.
But how about did he have a criminal past? According to the UJS, I didn't see anything.
I can't comment on a person's criminal history during an ongoing investigation.
Sorry, Mr. Mancuso said that you stand ready to assist in giving a complete background of the defendant. What specifically is law enforcement interested in?
That'll be the last question after Mr. Mancuso answers.
In any case of this nature, and I prosecuted a fair share of homicides, double homicides, that sort of thing. You want to look at any evidence of possible motive.
Camera.
You want to look at any evidence of a pattern, of modus operandi or method. You
He'll be
want
on
to
the plane
get
tonight.
into the
Guaranteed.
subject's character, mental state to the best you can, that sort of thing. So it'll be an all-encompassing effort, which we stand ready for. Okay. We have our ways.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to show the traffic cams.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. All right, let's show the traffic cams. Y'all ready? Here we go.
I stopped you when you were driving by me there. You're a little too close to back that semi. In the back of the street. I'm about 1 car at 10 miles an hour. So I'm going 60 or 70 miles an hour. About 6 or 7 cars. Oh, you guys did? Yeah. So. You guys stopped by a trooper? We don't have any SUVs. It was a county guy. Was it like a black SUV? Okay, all right. You thought you guys were following too closely? Okay. Today? I'm not going to give you guys another ticket or warning if you just got stopped. Just make sure you give yourself plenty of room, okay? So like I said, it's all about how fast you're going, okay? So if you're going 10 miles an hour, you only need 1 car. If you're going, so speed limit here is 7. If you're going 7 miles an hour, you need 7 cars.
I think he wanted it.
That's an easy way to explain it. Yeah. It's really easy to do. The B&B man says 2%. All right. Yes, I'm saying, where y'all headed? Thank you so much. Where y'all headed to? Where at? Yeah, it's a long haul. You guys scared of airplanes? Did you? Okay. All right, well, hey, peace out, Central.
You don't even see their face. Screenshot. He's evil. He's freaking evil, guys. Look at that. What do y'all think? Paranoia. Oh, my mic over here. Paranoia. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I got any more. 1 second. Just give me a second, guys. Give me a second. I've got brown chicken, brown girl. Uh, 216. Okay, I'm gonna play this again while y'all.
Who wants to stick your state license registration? When I stopped you, you're driving by me there, you're a little close back at somebody. In the back, next to trailer. I'm about 10 miles an hour, so you're going 60 or 70 miles an hour. About 6 or 7 miles. Oh, you guys did? Yeah. So. You got stopped by a trooper? We don't have any SUVs. It was a county guy. It was like SUV. Okay, all right. You saw you
Hold
guys
on.
following too closely?
I got another video. 1 second. Let me know if it echoes. Let me know if you can't hear it. This one's 6 minutes long.
Who wants to stay your license registration? When I stopped you when you're driving by me there, you're a little too close to back at semi. About one car in the back of this trailer. I'm about one car in 10 miles an hour, so you're going 60 or 70 miles an hour. About 6 or 7 cars. Oh, you guys did? Yeah. So. You got stopped by a trooper? We don't have any SUVs. It was a county guy. Was it like a black SUV? Okay, all right. You said you guys following too closely? Okay. Today? Well, I'm not going to give you guys another ticket or warning if you just got stopped. Just make sure you give yourself plenty of room, okay? So like I said, it's all about how fast you're going, okay? So if you're going 10 miles an hour, you only need one car lane. If you're going, so speed limit here is 7. If you're going 70 miles an hour, you need 7 car lanes. Yeah. That's the easy way to explain it. Yeah. Okay. It's really, in the B&B man, it says 2 seconds. All right. You guys have a safe trip. Where y'all headed? Thank you so much. Where y'all headed to? Where at? Yeah, it's a long haul. That's your airplanes? Did you? Okay. All right. Peace out, safe trip. Thanks, sir.
the FBI did follow them the whole way, right? So.
An FBI agent. He steals $100,000 from me before midnight. He keeps it. This is a night. Good luck. Let's go, Tariq. Oh! What do we do? Oh my gosh, we gotta go. Tariq, our first stop's through the woods.
Relax for 1 second. I've been tied up before.
He's getting so much time ahead of us. Our getaway car's over here. Oh, that's a nice car, Jim. Matches my bag. We gotta go. How are you gonna catch him if your hands are tied? And stop. Oh, why are we stopping already? Just watch. Oh my gosh. Let's get back in the car.
Buckle up. Oh, here we go. Hurry. Grab on. Push it over. Push. Go.
Guys, hurry up! We put a GPS in my underwear so the FBI agent and the boys will always know where I'm at. Jimmy, turn. If you zoom in, it's a maze. It's a maze. Look at how huge this maze is. We got to be careful because it'd be easy to get lost and for them to catch us in here. I think it's this way. Okay. How do you know? I've done this maze like 10 times, but the boys have never been here.
We're just going to push him and push him. Get him out of the area, and then as he's tiring, we'll handle this.
I'm going to leave them some money here so they know they're going the right way. Or a random person's just going to find a grin.
Go.
Oh. Perfect. Okay. If you're in the cave, you're in the right spot. Which means if we go here, now we are officially in the watchtower. We can see the entire maze.
I'm going to do a perimeter check. Make sure he's not outside. We got to find the getaway car.
Hey, Carl. Come on. There's that nerd.
Ooh. The only exit is right here.
Why is there money over here? That was just to let you know you were going the right way. Oh, they are. We gotta go. I don't know how long I plan on staying there. The only exit outside of this entire maze is all the way up there, which is why yesterday we put in a secret door.
Oh, wow. Jimmy, this is crazy.
Wait, Jimmy, is that our getaway car?
Hey, guys, let's go back to the car.
To the car.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Go.
Get in.
I wonder if they've noticed we're not in the maze anymore. I made a mistake. Tariq's supposed to be driving. And the reason Tariq is driving is because I need to put on a disguise. Boom. I'm Boomer Jim. And we're heading to Walmart where I'm going to try to blend in with normal people. We're pulling up to Walmart and I'm
having technical difficulties right now. I apologize.
Let's do this. Wait, it says we're on top of him.
Yeah.
Take a right down
He's
here.
right here.
And now I'm inside Walmart, and before I blend in, I need to disguise this bag. Now I'm going to take the $100,000 backpack and put it in this bag. Now they'll never catch me.
You and I will go inside. You two stay together.
Are they here yet?
They're walking out right now. They're going inside.
All right, they're going inside?
Yes.
The boys are about to come inside. We got to go.
Look at them running.
I can literally see the boys walking down the gaming aisle.
FBI? More like FB.
Oh my God, sorry about that. I had a video playing with 77 tablets here open and I could not. Hui vey. I'm wondering why. God bless America. I thought I was watching Linkbug. Yeah. Thank God I made it so. I was trying down like I literally have like 77 tabs up here. And why haven't they released the other video is what I'm wondering. Why? I have to say it keep this guy alive, let him face. 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Okay, let's look at this. So this is Brian. Creep. The Indiana State Police say just minutes before the traffic stop, the two men were stopped by a deputy from the Hancock County Sheriff's Department. And again, they were released with a verbal warning. Well, imagine that. Both times they got a warning. Huh. Who would have thunk it? They wanted to double confirm that this was him, or they wanted to see if something was in the car. Now, he does not have gloves on here. Notice that he does not have gloves on. He allegedly was going in the stores with gloves, though. That car is filthy. That is what you call a winter car. If you live in a snowy area, you get it. He has a scratch on his wrist. So let me show you this. Someone sent this to me earlier. And it's a big, big close-up. Sticking his tongue out. Sticking. What do y'all think? His hands look like they've either been excessively washed. If you will see, the texture is different. They're very dry. But it either appears he's used like some kind, it almost looks like he's trying to take his fingerprints off and stuff. Yes. Red and dry. Some kind of abrasive. Yeah. Some kind. Looks like he's been using jail soap. Well, he has now. What's red raw? Like your hands are red and they're raw? Is that what that means? Antibacterial. Would please someone explain? Okay. An affidavit is the reason they arrested him, the probable cause, the what the story is leading to the person's arrest. So let's see. It's just like evidence for the court, more or less. Car probably kept dirty to make car license plate and model more difficult to see. Travel, I actually thought of that too. Oh, look at that old thing. You can't really even tell what it is. And, but I wonder if he cleaned the hell out of his inside of his car. How did that car look? Let's go back to that. Okay. That's what we'll do. Okay. Now, his hands don't look as bad here. His poor father doesn't have a freaking clue here. Yeah, he's got big hands. Yes, bleach can do it. Come on, guys, let's hit that thumbs up. He does. I see exactly the plates. Yeah, I think he thinks he's smarter than the law. Oh, he definitely does think he's smarter than the law. He's definitely. Now, the inside looks clean, doesn't it? The inside of the car looks clean. His dad has the GPS. You can tell it's on his phone. They've got a water, 2 waters here. And I bet you he is literally shitting himself right now. I don't think the dad knew anything. No, I don't think for a second the dad knew anything. No, he looks just like a good old guy. He doesn't, they don't seem like, I mean, I could be wrong, but they don't seem like the laundries to me. Just my opinion. They don't seem like the laundries. Yes, it's like his eyes are dilated and he has more like white in his eyes or something, and those eyes are just piercing. And look at those 11s. You see those 11s? And then his nose. Just crazy. People's talking about his wrist. Hold on, I might be able to zoom in this way. I don't have my other mouse and my roller thingies screwed up here, so. I don't see anything on his wrist. That's not a cut. That's a shadow from the steering wheel. In my opinion, I think whoever fought with him that night busted his nose and he bled. So DNA isn't. Joanna, I hope. I have heard that. Heaven. I have heard that. In my opinion, you want to make sure it's still a car. Piddly pullovers cause he was being tracked. They could have been putting a tracker on there as well. Something, I'm sure he checked it. But I wonder if, you never know how small like the FBI has trackers or anything. Who knows? What did you say, Heather? The other wrist, outside wrist. Yes. I see what you're saying. Are you talking about like right here? Or right? I mean, I don't see it. This wrist? Are you talking like right there? Like a cut right there? Yeah, it's too pixelated. I don't think it's swollen. Near his cuff. That looks like a patch of hair or something, or a shadow. But I just think we're reading too much into it at this point. That face, yes, that's what gets me, is that face. Yuck. That face gets me every freaking time. makes me nasty. nasty. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off. I've been live so much today, so I have to go do homework and bath times and all that stuff. So thank you so much. I love you, each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. Maybe he should have been on medication. Thank you, my dear. Murik. A lot of people use that, Don. It doesn't like DNA, right? So, all right. Thank you all. God bless each and every one of you. Has anyone else come out about him? Well, the night that they announced it was him, they had like 400 or 600 different calls. Yeah. Yeah, I'll try to get on and look through this after I get all this done. If anything hits the fan between now and then, any other videos, anything comes out, I'll be live. Okay? Love you all. Appreciate it. Please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. We'll talk to you later. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.